a new moon in Libra is really focusing on the pleasure, the romance, the beauty of life and relationships. But this new moon is getting really triggered and provoked by the energy that's opposing it. And that's Chiron, the wounded healer, and Aries, the goddess of strife, conflict, and discord. They're both in a conjunction in Aries, opposing this new moon in Libra, which is suggesting that a part of you wants to have, of course, a beautiful, romantic, deep, meaningful relationship, which is flowing with so much divinity, serenity, and beauty. But first, there's a lot of chaos and conflict that you need to get to the bottom of, get to the root cause of, get into the depth of, so you can transform that and then embody that Libra energy into your life. Chiron is known as a wounded healer, so it shows where we have been wounded, hurt, where we have fears, insecurities, where we're vulnerable. This could be associated with past. You can get even deeper and get into past lives. Then you have a very chaotic energy like Aries, which can reveal a lot of rage, conflict, disharmony. It can reveal also jealousy and insecurities and just confrontational tendencies in general. So this new moon is asking us to go deeper into our cave of shadows, go deeper and be honest about our insecurities, any jealous tendencies we have, any parts of us that we're still confronting or in a conflict with. It's showing inner tension as well. It could be insecurities that you're holding on from a past situation, a past relationships. It can be insecurities of not feeling good enough, and therefore that's preventing you from flourishing in relationships or having healthy relationships. And did I forget to mention, we also have planet Mars, a god of war and chaos, in a conjunction with planet Mercury, which is a planet of the mind and communication, in the most intense zodiac sign, Scorpio. So there's a lot of intensity, a lot of energies really coming up in so much heat and frustration, and they're just ready to almost like explode. But we need to tame that energy and transform it into a positive. So I'm going to go through all the 12 zodiac signs and share with you your horoscope for this new moon in Libra. I'm going to focus on the Chiron and Aries energy that's opposing this new moon in Libra, as well as a Mars and Mercury conjunction. So with that being said, the timestamps will be down below, and let's get into it. Aries rising, let's take a look at the new moon in Libra. So this month has been very important for you. You've just had the full moon in your sign. You've got Venus, the goddess of love and relationships, in your opposite sign, Libra. And now we've got the new moon in Libra, also impacting love, relationships, marriage, committed relationships, partnerships, and other people. So this is a huge theme. Now, this new moon is at 28 degrees. Take a look at your chart. The closer you have any planets in either Aries or even Libra, will make this new moon more significant and profound in its manifestation. Now, this is an intense new moon. Although new moons do bring new beginnings and new cycles and new chapters, and especially a new moon in Libra, which is connected to peace and harmony and balance, this new moon is getting triggered left, right, center. First of all, we have Chiron, who is known as a wounded healer, and Aries, who's known as a goddess of strife and discord, in a conjunction opposing this new moon, which is showing that if you have any insecurities or any past wounds regarding your identity, independence, and freedom, or if you have any inner tension, any inner discord regarding, again, identity, freedom, or independence, that is impacting a relationship you're currently in or has impacted previous relationships, or there's almost a fear of getting into a committed relationship because maybe you feel like you will lose your sense of self or identity, purpose, or freedom or independence, or maybe you feel like that's going to be a hindrance to some of your goals. So that's where the tension is, and it's really deep as well with Chiron and Aries. But of course, new moons bring new chapters, and they bring forth progression in terms of what's going on in your life and development. So if you are in a relationship, and if you are working hard on trying to mend a relationship or move forward in a relationship, but you feel like these fears are coming up, well, it's time to go a bit deeper. It's time to address those fears. It's time to look at what is actually stopping you from moving forward with perhaps this person you've been seeing for a while, and maybe they are requiring more commitment because they want more balance, they want more harmony, they want to know where they stand with you, but there seems to be this tension that is kind of preventing you to move forward. And if you're single, this could be impacting you not wanting to perhaps move forward in a committed relationship as well, because the fear of, do I lose my independence? Does this impact my freedom? Will this impact my sense of self and identity? Now, we also have Mars and Mercury in a conjunction in Scorpio in your 8th house. So that is creating a lot of tension, a lot of intense energy when it comes to shared resources, what you share with others, when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to deep spiritual transformation. There's a lot of energy in your 8th house, which is showing that there's tension, there's intensity, and there's something that needs to be released or transformed regarding what you share with someone, or if you have a very strong intimate bond with someone, or if you're working on some deep soul spiritual work as well. Pluto also, the planet of transformation, is impacting this new moon. So like I said, there's a lot of tension, and it's asking you to address the issues. The new moon in Libra, like I said, is about harmony, peace, and balance. And in order to get to that, we first have to address the inner tension, the inner discord, the inner strife, or the wounds we still have, or the things that are preventing and holding us back from moving forward. So that's going to be a main theme for your zodiac, and it's about addressing the inner tension, the inner discord within, to then move forward. So relationships is a big one for you during this new moon in Libra. Hey Taurus, Taurus rising, let's get into the new moon in Libra. Now, this isn't your ordinary new moon in Libra because there's a lot of intensity. Now, new moons are about new beginnings, new cycles, new chapters, and in the sign of Libra, the end goal is to ultimately embody balance, equilibrium, peace, and harmony in your 6th house, which is about your daily life, habits, routine, how your life is structured, wellness, how you take care of yourself, and work. So that's where there's this potential and opportunity for a new beginning or for some developments to occur. So whether that being taking your health, wellness to the next level, or making changes in your routine to feel your best, or when it comes to perhaps developments or changes at work. Now, the thing with this new moon is there's a lot of intensity from all different angles. We've got Chiron, the wounded healer, as well as Aries, the goddess of strife and discord, in the 12th house opposing this new moon. So 12th house, that's the past, that's karma, and by karma I just mean, balance from the past that needs to be transformed. We're looking at sensitivities, connection to the divine, we're looking at things that the subconscious is still holding on to. This is also the area of life where you can tend to have just tendencies to escape. So there's friction and tension between the 12th and the 6th house. It seems like there's a lot of inner tension, inner strife and discord, and a lot that still needs to be healed and transformed in order for it to positively impact your 6th house. So in terms of your daily life changing, your daily routine and habits, and your wellness, your well-being and work, in order to see that positive manifestation, you need to tap into that 12th house, tap into that Aries energy and the Chiron energy, the wounded healer. That's Chiron. So Chiron helps us to look at some of our past wounds, insecurities, vulnerabilities, fears, acknowledge them, transform them. And when we do that in a soul work, and also with the goddess of strife and discord in the 12th house, this is getting even more deeper and looking at where perhaps you've experienced discord or rage or conflict with others that is impacting you, or is there any inner conflict that you're kind of fighting that you're not actually addressing? When you get into all that and when you start to do that soul work, that's when you'll see the positive impact when it comes to your daily life routine how you take care of yourself, health, wellness, and work, okay? Because whatever we're feeling and experiencing inwards, that reflects and impacts our external reality. We also have Mars and Mercury in Scorpio in a conjunction in your 7th house of relationships. So there seems to be a lot of energy there, a lot of intensity, a lot of shifts and changes and transformation regarding relationships and other people. We also have Pluto impacting this new moon. So something regarding career goals and ambitions is also kind of provoking for change, for transformation to occur regarding your 6th house. So although this is a new moon and it does provide opportunity for new beginnings, new cycles, this new moon is asking us to first balance our inner realm, our inner world, to balance out the tension, any discord within, any wounds that we still need to balance and heal. And then we can see that positive impact in our external reality. So Taurus rising, take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Hey Gem rising, let's get into the new moon in Libra. So the new moon in Libra is happening in your 5th house of joy, happiness, creativity. This is the area of life where you express yourself. This is where you have fun, experience pleasure. This can also rule over romance, dating, and relationships. Now, new moons are about new beginnings, new chapters, new cycles. In the sign of Libra, it's about harmony, balance, equilibrium, and feeling your best self. And for you, it can also be very much regarding relationships, because Libra is a relationship-oriented energy, and the 5th house also rules over relationships. Now, although this is a new moon in Libra, and generally speaking, that's a very beautiful energy, very positive energy, however, there's a lot of intensity from all different directions. First of all, we have the goddess of strife and discord, Aries, and the wounded healer Chiron in a conjunction in your 11th house, opposing this new moon in Libra. And that's showing that there's some tension and discord between either your friend circle, your social circle, acquaintances, groups that you've been part of in the past, or perhaps there's some wounds where you've had a falling out with a friend, a group, or somebody that you've known, that you've been acquainted to. There's some wound there. There's a lot of tension there that is kind of holding you back from really expressing yourself or moving forward in the 5th house. So once you get to the root cause of what is holding you back, or where that tension is kind of blocking you, preventing you from shining your light, expressing yourself, being happy, being creative, expressing yourself to the fullest, until you don't figure the root cause and transform it, this new moon in Libra is energy is just going to stay stagnant. You want to push it forward. And what the astrology is showing is that there's wounds from the past, there's tension and strife and discord, and that needs to be either transformed or released or healed in order for this 5th house energy to really shine. On top of that, Mars and Mercury will be in a conjunction in the sign of Scorpio in your 6th house, the house that rules over your daily life, routine, habits, also well-being, self-care, health, and work. So there's a lot of momentum, stamina, energy, and intensity happening there. And there may be a lot of transformation occurring in that area of life that is either going to be really helpful and supportive to your 5th house, or there's some tension in terms of your, again, presented with an opportunity to do some deep shadow work so that you can progress forward with your 5th house. So if you're working on creative projects, or if you're working on just simply wanting to be more happier and healing the inner child, experiencing more joy and happiness and pleasure in life, or maybe you want to express yourself, you have a creative endeavor in mind, or you're working towards a creative project, or even if you're like dating, if you want this energy to move forward and move forward in your favor, you got to address the shadows that are coming from the 11th house when it comes to other people, friendships, groups, acquaintances, social networks, or even your hopes and visions from for the future, as well as your daily life routine and work life. Okay, they're all intertwined and connected. We also have Pluto impacting this new moon in Libra. Pluto is in your 9th house of the mind, learning, philosophies, and travel. And that's kind of pushing your 5th house as well to go deeper, to go deeper and transform further. So that's how the energy is impacting your zodiac. It's a lot of soul shadow work to get into, and there's also a lot of harmony, equilibrium, and creativity waiting to be embodied. Hey Cancer, Cancer rising, let's get into the new moon in Libra. So the new moon in Libra is coming in with all the intensity. Although the end goal with the new moon in Libra is to embody and experience harmony, pleasure, and be the scales, the yin, the yang, this energy is really being provoked and it's asking you to go deeper. Now, new moons are about new beginnings, new cycles, new chapters and developments, and this energy is going to be impacting your fourth house of home, family, healing, and you can go deeper and get into a lot of shadow work, soul work, and past lives as well. The fourth house is where you're meant to experience safety, security. This is the area of life where you go when you need to retreat, replenish. It's your sanctuary, it's your sacred space. Now, although there's a lot of energy here, there's also a lot of energy in your 10th house. We have Chiron, which is known as a wounded healer, and we have Eris, the goddess of strife and discord, in a conjunction in your 10th house of authority, career, goals, ambitions, opposing the new moon in Libra in your 4th house. So there seems to be a lot of tension in your 10th house that is provoking the serenity that you are wanting to experience in your 4th house. So perhaps there's some wounds from the past, from an authority figure, or perhaps there's tension or discord when it comes to your career. This tension can be from other people, involving other people, or it could just be what you're feeling inside. You're feeling just inner tension, inner discord, inner strife. So if you're focusing and working, or there's a lot of energy coming up regarding home, your family life, your sacred space, wanting to experience more healing and replenish more, you need to take a look at your 10th house. You need to take a look at the authority figures. You need to take a look at those that have power over you, or the people you work with, or are part of your career, or some of your goals that you have set for yourself. Where is the tension? Where is it stemming from? What is the root cause? Why does it exist? And how can you transform that, release that, heal that, so that you can experience more harmony and balance and equilibrium at home? In your home life, personal life, with family, or just with yourself, so you can feel more safer, secure, and just go more deeper when it comes to your healing. Because your 10th house is in friction with your 4th house. That's what the Chiron and Eris energy is showing. There's also a lot of intensity because we've got Mars and Mercury in a conjunction in your 5th house, and the 5th house is the house of joy. With Mars and Mercury, it can give you a lot of momentum and stamina to really go all out with your self-expression, with joy. It can also be a little reckless, so you got to be careful with that. But then it can also be very intense, where you're having these really strong, intense urges to express yourself, to experience more joy. And again, you got to be careful of any type of reckless behavior. Always thinking before doing as well. This could also impact relationships. I mean, Libra is a relationship zodiac sign, so intensity can come up with relationships as well. We also have Pluto impacting this new moon, which is in your 8th house. So the 8th house is about other people. It's about what you share with others. It's also about intimacy and deep spiritual transformation. So this new moon is asking you to go deeper, look at the chaos or the tension or the friction in your life, and do something about it so that you can move forward in regards to your 4th house, in regards to experiencing more pleasure, harmony, and bliss regarding home, family, and your sanctuary. So Cancer, Cancer rising, take care, and I'll speak with you soon. Hi Leo, Leo rising. Let's take a look at the new moon in Libra and how it may impact you. So the new moon in Libra is asking you to embody balance, peace, equilibrium in your 3rd house of the mind, communication, and travel. That's where the energy is really shining its light. And new moons are about new beginnings, new chapters, new cycles, and developments occurring. So there could be a shift or change or something new that happens regarding the mind, like getting a spiritual awakening or having a spiritual epiphany or awakening to some sort of ability, getting downloads, being able to channel through writing, or even when it comes to something involving communication, whether it's reading, writing, a project that involves communications. This could even be like marketing or travel. There could be a profound change there. Now, this new moon is getting really triggered because opposite this new moon, we've got Chiron, which is known as the wounded healer. And we've got Eris, a goddess of strife and discord, in the 9th house. So what is the 9th house? The 9th house is very similar to the 3rd house, but it's more about going bigger. Okay, so whereas, the 3rd house is about short distance travels and short journeys and like your local everyday environment, the 9th house is about foreign places, long distance travel and journeys. It's about expanding the mind, wisdom, philosophies, the higher mind, higher education. This also involves communication. So there seems to be an imbalance between the 3rd and the 9th house. So where the 3rd house can sometimes be a little more mundane and logical, the 9th house can be, in a way, more spiritual. And it's about balance, We have the new moon in Libra. So where is there some strife or discord or any even past wounds regarding, perhaps it's like as simple as travel. Maybe you experience some conflict or discord or strife regarding travel, or there's some past hurt or wound. Maybe you went through something whilst traveling, or maybe you were traveling with somebody, or maybe it has to do with like your philosophies. Maybe there's some tension there, your philosophies and your logic not aligning. There's also a Mars and Mercury conjunction in the sign of Scorpio in your 4th house of home and family in your personal life. So there seems to be a lot of energy and perhaps even a lot of intensity and tension there as well. So this new moon is asking us to go deeper. Look at what needs to be transformed. Look at what needs to be released. Look at where there needs to be almost like a rebirth, whether that means a rebirth in your mentality, philosophies, a rebirth when it comes to really establishing boundaries regarding either relationships, home, family life. Go deeper is a key word here. We also have Pluto impacting this new moon. Now, Pluto is in your opposite sign in Aquarius, and it's impacting relationships and other people as well. So that energy is also triggering your 3rd house, and maybe there's this profound conversation that occurs during this time that helps you to move forward. Maybe there's some words that you've been holding on to that you need to really express, a conversation that needs to be had, and you've just been waiting, but this energy supports you or provides you the platform to do so that you can move forward. So there's a lot of focus here on your mind, what's coming up for you, communication, speaking, reading, writing, relationships, home life, family, as well as your philosophies and spirituality and travel. So Leo rising, wishing you all the best. And remember, this new moon in Libra is supporting you to embody balance, equilibrium, peace, and harmony. Hi Virgo rising. Let's get into the new moon in Libra. So the new moon in Libra is coming in with all the intensity. It's not your average new moon in Libra. In fact, it's quite the opposite because it's asking you to go deeper and get into a lot of shadow work as well. Now, the new moon in Libra, of course, is about new beginnings, new cycles, new chapters, and developments occurring. And in the sign of Libra, it's about embodying equilibrium, balance, and harmony. And it can also be associated a lot with your self-worth and relationships because Libra is ruled by Venus. Venus is in the sign of Libra in its home sign in the 2nd house as well. So a lot of emphasis here on self-worth and, of course, it being a relationship zodiac sign. Now, what is the 2nd house? It's about resources, what you own, money manifestation, and self-worth is a key word for all of that. Because often your self-worth is built from what you own or the resources you have or your finances. And that's where there's a lot of energy, a lot of focus. However, Opposite the second house and the new moon, we've got Chiron, the wounded healer, Eris, the goddess of strife and discord, in a conjunction in your 8th house, in Aries. And what's the 8th house? So, what the second house is what you own, the 8th house is what you share with others. And it also has to do with intimacy, so taking relationships to the next level. It's just far more beyond than just the 7th house of commitment. It's like really merging. And hence, merging goes with shared resources and finances. And then you get into the esoteric aspect of the 8th house. You can get into soul work, shadow work, deep spiritual transformation. And it seems like that's where there's a lot of tension. Chiron can show your insecurities, wounds from the past, fears, vulnerabilities, sensitivities. And with Eris, it could be about conflict, strife, discord, or even rage, frustration. So those two energies coming together, it's showing that that's almost like a block. It's almost like preventing you from really moving forward in your 2nd house. There seems to be an energy in your 8th house that is connected to old wounds, patterns, habits as well, that are repeating, because there's a sense of fear, whether you're aware of it or not. And then that's what the astrology is showing. And then there's some inner tension, strife, and discord as well. This could even be regarding somebody, regarding a person, which is preventing the new moon from really manifesting, flourishing, from moving forward in a smooth manner. And that's where you got to step in. And that's where you have to take just authority of your life and move that energy forward by addressing the Chiron and Eris in your 8th house, by going deeper, going to the root cause, the deep cause of what is actually preventing you from really embodying expansion and experiencing it in your 2nd house. Now, that energy is just one part of the intensity, because there's more intensity. We also have Mars and Mercury in a conjunction in the sign of Scorpio in your 3rd house. So there's a lot of intensity and tension, and also a lot of energy when it comes to what's going on in your mind, your thought process, thought forms, your communication, your environment, your atmosphere, travel. There's a lot of intensity. There's perhaps a lot of movement, a lot of restlessness, like you want to be on the go 24/7 almost, and there's just a lot of ideas, a lot of energies coming through, and that can work in your favor, but it's also helping you to go deeper, and that's a key word. I've been saying that with all the zodiacs. It's about going deeper. Pluto's also triggering this new moon. So in order to have a rebirth, or to expand further in the 2nd house, when it comes to resources, when it comes to money manifestation, when it comes to how good you feel about yourself, how worthy you feel, how accomplished you feel, how secure you feel, you got to get into the shadow work. You got to look at the 8th house. You got to look at what's going on in your mind, in your 3rd house. What are some of your thoughts, forms and thought patterns? Like, what's going on? Go deeper, so that you can embody that balance and equilibrium and that peace and harmony in your 2nd house. So Virgo rising, wishing you all the best, and I'll speak with you soon. Hi Libra rising. Let's get into your horoscope for your new moon in Libra. Now this new moon in Libra is at 28 degrees, so if you have any planets at 28 degrees or close by, then you'll feel the manifestation of this new moon more strongly and profoundly. Now, this is your annual new moon, so it's a very special time for you. You got the sun and the moon both in your sign, as well as your ruler Venus in your sign, all in the 1st house of me, myself, and I. Your identity, this is your ego, this is your life direction, life path. So there's a lot of focus on you. But with the Libra energy, it's also about other people, and it's about relationships. So that is also going to be super strong this month. Now, this new moon is not your average new moon. It's not your average new moon in Libra, because there's a lot of intensity, a lot of triggers and tension, only so that you can move forward and really embody the true essence of the Libra energy. Now we've got
the wounded healer Chiron in Aries, as well as the goddess of strife and discord in Aries, in a conjunction in your 7th house of other people, committed relationships, and partnerships. Now, this is showing that there's some friction or tension, especially those that have planets that are more closer to these degrees. So we're looking at from 24 degrees and onwards. If you have any planets in either Libra or Aries, you'll feel this more strongly. Now, with the 7th house, there's either some past wounds, some past sensitivities or vulnerabilities or fears, or even frustration, rage, or conflict from either past experiences or something you're experiencing right now with someone that is preventing you from your self love journey, from your growth, from expanding further and building on your identity, your goals, your life path and direction. There seems to be a tension block from preventing you from really flourishing and moving forward and being in peace and harmony. Whether that's like an internal energy, whether that's internal conflict, internal strife or discord, or especially with the 7th house, this could be actually with a person. So it could be an intense time where you're going head to head with somebody, or somebody is kind of embodying the Eris energy of where they're bringing discord or strife or conflict, or even like really strong frustration into your life that is opening up wounds, Chiron. And this energy is asking you to go deeper. What is not serving you, let it go. Put an end to it. Release it. Establish firm boundaries. Remember, Libra is not about moving away from confrontation, avoiding it. It's about looking at where there is confrontation and placing boundaries. That's what the high aspect of this Libra energy wants us to do. The okay Libra version is like, okay, it's okay if there's conflict, I'm just going to avoid it just so that everything's peaceful and harmonious. But no, that's not really operating from the higher manifestation. It's not about making excuses. It's not about saying everything's okay when it's not. It's about placing firm boundaries, and that's something that you perhaps need to do so that you can really soak into and marinate in this beautiful, blissful Libra energy and really embody it and feel it in your bones and your soul. Feel it really moving through you. I mean, if you want healthy, harmonious relationships, you have to first acknowledge that you are going to run into conflicts and confrontation, but it's about how you manage them, how you move forward with them. It's not about avoiding them or ducking them. It's about, okay, I see what's going on here. I see that, we're both human and we're going to butt heads at times. And that's the 7th house. The 7th house is so ironic, but it's so true at the same time, because it rules over love, relationships, and marriages, but also rules over conflict. And that's because you have an experience the most conflict with the people you love the most. You're always butting heads with the people you love the most. It's because we're learning from one another. We're all holding up a spiritual mirror. We also have Mars and Mercury in Scorpio in your 2nd house, as bringing a lot of intensity, a lot of momentum, drive, and energy regarding resources, what you own, money, manifestation, and self-worth. So on one hand, there's a lot of focus here to really build this area of life and move forward. There could be a lot of energy here, momentum, but also there could be a lot of intensity and tension, especially regarding self-worth. We also have Pluto triggering this new moon, and Pluto is in Aquarius, and it's in your 5th house of joy, self-expression, creativity, also romance, dating, and relationships. So almost like from every angle, you're being asked to go deeper. Look at the shadows. Transform those shadows, place those spiritual boundaries, communicate those boundaries so that you can really flourish, so that you can experience balance, equilibrium, and harmony and peace in your life. So Libra rising, wishing you all the best with this new moon in Libra. There is this opportunity and potential to move forward in your life path, life journey, goals, to build on your identity, your relationships, but first is really looking at where there are shadows and where there needs to be transformation. All the best. Scorpio rising, let's get into the astrology for the new moon in Libra and how it may impact your zodiac. So the new moon in Libra is going to be at 28 degrees. The sun and the moon and also Venus will all be in this love energy of Venus. Now, new moons are about new beginnings, new chapters, new cycles, new beginnings, and the Libra energy is about relationships, harmony, peace, balance, creativity, pleasure. It just loves to be in joy, happiness, and beauty. Now, the thing with this new moon in Libra is it's not your average new moon in Libra because it's getting hit with a lot of intensity, which is opening up a gateway, potential, and opportunity to move forward, to embody more harmony, bliss, and balance into your life. Now, for you, this new moon is occurring in your 12th house. What is the 12th house? Well, the 12th house is the last zodiac house in astrology. So it rules the past, it rules endings, karma, and by that I mean where balance is due, sensitivity, spirituality, creativity. I mean, you can get deeper into the esoterics with this area of life as well. You can get into past lives. Now, although there's a lot of energy here, which is showing that that's where balance is due, that's where you're able to find more peace, where you're able to find more harmony. But right opposite the 12th house, we've got the 6th house. And we've got Chiron in Aries, which is a wounded healer, and Eris, the goddess of strife and discord, in a conjunction with Chiron in Aries. And that energy is so strong, it's opposing the new moon in Libra. They are in the 6th house. So both Chiron and Eris in the 6th house. What is the 6th house? The 6th house is your daily life routine, habits, work life, health, wellness, self-care, and being of service to others. So it's showing that there's imbalance in that area of life. It's showing that there's either some discord or imbalance, or there's some fear, insecurities, vulnerabilities, energies that need to be looked at more deeply and also need to undergo a transformation so that your 12th house can flourish. And the 12th and 6th house are opposite energies, opposite frequencies. So when one needs balancing, so does the other. And when one is transformed, that also impacts the other area of life. So this imbalance between the 12th and 6th house, it's really reflecting on your sensitivities as well. It seems like there needs to be kind of a restructure, or there needs to be more balance, because it seems the 6th house is a bit too chaotic. This energy is asking you to nurture yourself more, nourish yourself more, take care of yourself more, spend more time with yourself and uplift yourself and give back to yourself. This is also showing imbalance or energies that are not really in sync regarding work life as well. Maybe you feel like you're not happy at work, or you need a change, or there seems to be some type of imbalance here, and that's impacting your 12th house. That's impacting your serenity, that's impacting your peace of mind, that's impacting your sensitivity, your psychic energy, intuition. It's kind of interfering with it, and you're not able to relax in the 12th house. The 12th house also shows where we can also spend time to feel in bliss and in serenity. The 12th house is such a paradox because there's so many layers to the 12th house. It's not as linear as, let's say, the other houses. Like, it's very convoluted, and that's because it is the last house in astrology. So there's many different aspects to the 12th house. So once you've kind of mastered and then balanced out the 6th house, you'll find that your intuition is more clear. Your connection with the divine, God, universe, spirituality is much more stronger. You may feel like there's just a more stronger sense of self and then peace of mind, and your creativity and your intuition is just flourishing, and you just feel like you're rested and you're feeling good and serene. Okay? So you got to take a look at the 6th house. Now, we also have Mars and Mercury in a conjunction in your sign I was going to say the 5th house. I don't know why I was going to say the 5th house. I was meant to say the 1st house. So there's a lot of strong energy as well, a lot of intensity. Mars and Mercury together can either help you to create or destroy because they're so strong in nature. It can support you in your goals in terms of your passion for life and your creativity flourishing and really being out and about and getting some of your goals ticked off your bucket list. It can give you a great sense of self, a lot of spiritual power, a lot of stamina, momentum, a lot of intuition and psychic energy that can really support you. Or it can make you very defensive and overprotective of yourself, where you find yourself getting into conflicts or chaos with other people. So you got to be very conscious with the Mars and Mercury energy, because it's in your sign, so you're feeling it the most. And like I said, it can either support you in either building you or breaking you down. So when you're mindful and conscious of that energy, you can work with it to support you. Now, Pluto is also making a negative, challenging aspect with this new moon. I mean, I don't mean to say negative in a bad way. I mean, they're just not getting along. But Pluto is pushing this new moon in Libra to go deeper into your spirituality, go deeper into your spiritual self-care, go deeper into working with your spirituality to nurture and heal yourself. So it's about taking care of yourself, mind, body, soul, spirit. Once you've got to the root cause of where that discord is in your life, or where the Chiron energy is, where you're not feeling like you're good enough, or you don't feel good enough to receive harmony, receive balance, receive peaceful energy, as long as you don't feel deserving of that, you're going to block that energy from coming into your life. And once you do get to the root cause, then you'll start to find just life start to really come into just stability, just having greater stability over your mind, your thoughts, just life in general, intuition, creativity. It will all just come together. So Scorpio rising, take care, wishing you all the best, and speak with you soon. Hey Sag rising, let's get into the new moon in Libra. So the new moon in Libra will be at 28 degrees. The sun, the moon, and Venus will be in your 11th house. The 11th house is all about friends, groups, networks, acquaintances, and your future visions and hopes. Now, the new moon is about new beginnings, and it's about new cycles, new chapters. It opens up the potential and opportunities to really grow and develop in the area of life it's at. And the Libra energy is about harmony, balance, peace, and relationships. The 11th house is a very relationship-orientated area of life. And by relationships, I don't mean a romantic relationship, but more so relationships with people, your social circle, friendships, platonic relationships, groups, networks, your social life. So this is showing that there's a lot of potential here to move forward in this area of life, whether that means moving forward in terms of groups you're part of, making new networks that can be really beneficial, or when it comes to meeting new people, working, collaborating, especially on future goals and visions. However, the thing with this new moon in Libra is it's not your average new moon, because it's really pushing us to go deeper. Opposite the new moon in Libra, we've got Chiron, the wounded healer, and Aries, the goddess of strife and discord. And that will be in your 5th house. The 5th house has a lot to do with happiness, joy, creativity. It also has to do with expressing yourself, creative projects, as well as relationships as well. And what this energy is showing is that there's disharmony and an imbalance between the 11th house and the 5th house in regards to friendships, groups, your visions and hopes for the future, as well as your creativity, how you're expressing yourself, how you're experiencing pleasure, joy, and happiness, and relationships. So with the Aries and Chiron energy, it seems like there's either wounds from the past, or there's inner discord or inner strife that is not allowing you to really flourish in your 11th house. There's something preventing you. This could be fears or past experiences, or this could be just not having enough confidence within yourself and really expressing yourself, being your true self, or not moving forward in a certain creative project because the fear of, which is either Chiron, or the inner kind of conflict or inner chaos, which is Aries. Now, when you get to the root cause of that, what is causing that? What is adding to that? What is creating that? And you start to transform that and do something about it. That's when you'll make room for not only just the 5th house to flourish, but also the 11th house, and that's where the new moon is. Because this energy is impacting friendships, it's impacting your social life, it's impacting groups, networks, and your hopes and wishes for the future. Once you balance those energies out, you'll start to notice that your creativity is just more just fulfilling. You're able to create more freely, you're able to express yourself more freely, you're able to just enjoy and be at peace and experience more pleasure, as well as you're able to enjoy more time with your friend circle, where there's more peace in your friend circle, there's more balance, harmony. Your social life is just really great and positive. And in terms of like looking ahead at the future and collaborating, that is also working towards your favor. That's where this energy is focused on. So it's about getting to the root cause of where is that inner chaos, or where are some of your insecurities, and are they preventing you from really experiencing more pleasure and harmony in your life. We also have Mars and Mercury in Scorpio in a conjunction, which is in your 12th house of the past, karma, sensitivities. So there's a lot of intensity, a lot of focus on spirituality as well. Now, Mars can sometimes get really frustrated in the 12th house because it'd rather be in the 1st house where it's out and about. But what this is showing is that tap into your alchemist energy, tap into your healing energies, tap into your psychic energies, so that you can really feel more in tune with the divine, feel more in tune with your spirituality, your purpose, and really work with your creative, intuitive energy to create a masterpiece that can support both your 5th and 11th house. So a lot of focus here on your friendships, your hopes and visions for the future, as well as your creativity, your creative abilities and gifts, how you're experiencing pleasure, joy, and happiness, as well as your spirituality. So wishing you all the best. Take care, and I'll speak with you soon. Let's get into the new moon in Libra, happening at 28 degrees. Now, new moons are about new beginnings, new chapters, new cycles, and the Libra energy is a very relationship-oriented energy. It focuses on pleasure, harmony, and peace. Now, for you, this new moon is in your favorite area of life, and that's the 10th house, which is about career, goals, ambitions, and it's also about authority and success. Now, this new moon in Libra is showing a potential opportunity for growth and expansion in this area of life. Now, typically and usually, a new moon in Libra is a very beautiful energy and it can be really supportive. However, this new moon in Libra is really being triggered by some intense energies. Chiron, the wounded healer, is opposing this new moon in Libra. Aries, the goddess of strife, discord, and conflict, is conjunct Chiron and opposing this new moon in Libra. And that's all falling in your 4th house, which is the base, the security of your life, home, family, personal life. This is the area of life you go to experience replenishment, where you go to rejuvenate and heal and get yourself back together. This is your sacred space, your sanctuary. Now, although Aries is a very slow-moving planet and has been in your 4th house for the longest time ever, it's a fact that Aries and Chiron are in a conjunction opposing the new moon. And when you've got the moon, this is showing your emotions, it's showing your sensitivities. And right now, with the moon in, well, not right now, but as this new moon approaches, it shows that your moon energy, your lunar energy, emotions, sensitivities, they're more attuned and attached to the 10th house of career, goals, and ambitions. That's where there's a lot of attachment. But there's some disharmony and imbalance, conflict, or chaos, or wounds in the 4th house that are impacting your 10th house. So what this new moon is showing is that you can really expand and move forward and develop in your career goals and ambitions, because yes, new moons are about new beginnings, new chapters, new cycles, but first you got to get to the root cause. What is the root cause regarding 4th house of home, family, your personal life, how you experience rejuvenation, how you replenish your sanctuary? What is the chaos there? What is the issue there? What is that intensity that is preventing you, acting as a block, or opposing you from accomplishing what it is you want to accomplish? When you get to the root cause of that, and when you acknowledge it and you're aware of it and you choose to make the conscious choice of transforming it, that's when the 10th house and that new moon energy will really shine and expand and move forward. We also have Mars and Mercury in the sign of Scorpio in a conjunction in your 11th house, where this could also show some conflict or chaos. Now, Mars and Mercury, both in Scorpio, are very intense, especially because Mars is a ruler of Scorpio. So this could show that there's a lot of intense, passionate conversations. This could even lead to so much passion where conversations become more confrontational and more of an argument and become a conflict. So that's something to be mindful of, because you can just be so passionate. This could also show that you're very determined or very passionate about your hopes and wishes for the future, and you can also make a lot of developments in that area of life as well. So in this new moon chart, there's a lot of focus regarding your career goals, ambitions, home and family life, as well as friends, groups, and your hopes and wishes for the future. A lot of intensity, but also a lot of room for growth and development. Wishing you all the best, Cap Rising, and I'll speak with you soon. Hey Aquarius Rising, let's get into your new moon in Libra horoscope. So the new moon in Libra is happening at 28 degrees, and new moons are about new beginnings, new cycles, new chapters, and the Libra energy is about harmony, it's about peace, balance, and it's very relationship orientated. The new moon in Libra is impacting your 9th house of higher mind, higher learning, expansion, philosophies, and travel. So there could be a bit of travel involved. You could learn something new that really expands your mind. You could be working on something that is very philosophical, or you're just gaining a lot of wisdom during this time. Now, typically, the new moon in Libra is very serene, blissful, and very beautiful. However, this new moon is getting hit with a lot of intensity. Opposing this new moon, we have Chiron, the wounded healer, and Eris, the goddess of discord and strife and conflict in your 3rd house, which is showing that there's some tension, especially either like tension in your mind, thought forms, mental tension, mental conflict, or even when it comes to some of the conversations you're having, communication is not in harmony. You're not having harmonious conversations. It seems to be very confrontational. This new moon is asking for you to confront the chaos, confront the inner conflicts, confront the discord, not in a way that is going to provoke it more, but in a way that wants to listen to what is the conflict, what is the chaos, what is the discord, that wants to transform it, that wants to free it so that you can flourish and expand and develop further in 9th house matters. So that's what this new moon is asking. If you want to experience more expansion, if you want to allow your mind to really expand, and if you want to go out on adventures, travel, but doing that all in bliss and harmony and pleasure, you got to first address the chaos and conflict that's occurring in the 3rd house. We also have Mars and Mercury in the sign of Scorpio impacting your 10th house of career goals and ambitions. Now, Mars and Mercury together in Scorpio are very intense and very passionate. On one hand, they can really support you in going for what you want. They give you a lot of momentum, stamina, a lot of intuition. Your mind is just on fire. Like, you can really achieve a lot of goals with this energy. On the other hand, this energy, when it's operating from its shadow side, it can be very confrontational as well. It can get into arguments or conflicts or power struggles, especially in the 10th house. So that's something to be mindful of. And when you're aware and conscious of these astrological influences, you can work with them better, so they work in a positive manner, work in your favor rather than working against you. So a lot of powerful, intense Pluto Scorpio energy occurring. We also have this Pluto going direct in Aquarius. Currently, right now, as I'm speaking, Pluto is direct, okay? And during this new moon in Libra, it is also triggering the lunar energy. So it's almost like there's so much intensity. This Pluto energy is asking the new moon in Libra to go deeper with your studies, go deeper with your philosophies, go deeper with expanding your mind, address the root cause, go deeper into the shadow work, and confront what needs to be released and transformed so your life can flourish, so your goals can manifest. So, Aquarius rising, I'm excited for what's to come with this Pluto energy moving forwards in Aquarius, in our sign. And I hope this new moon in Libra really works out in your favor and supports you in your growth. Wishing you all the best, and I'll speak with you soon. Hi Pisces, Pisces rising. Let's get into the new moon in Libra that's going to be occurring at 28 degrees. Now, the new moon is about new beginnings, new cycles, new chapters, developments. And the Libra energy is about pleasure, balance, harmony, and it's very relationship-orientated energy. Now, typically the new moon in Libra is a very beautiful energy and it's super positive, and there's always room for growth with any transit or lunar event. But this energy is really asking us to go deeper into a lot of shadow work. Opposite this new moon in Libra, we've got Chiron, the wounded healer, and Eris, the goddess of discord and strife, in a conjunction, opposing this new moon in Libra in the second house. So the new moon being in the 8th house, the Chiron and Eris energy being in the second house, this is showing a lot of energy surrounding self-worth and boundaries. With a new moon in Libra in the 8th house, it's about, yes, new beginnings and developments regarding what you share with others, resources you share with others, regarding intimacy, spiritual transformation. And the second house is a very material, earthly energy, but behind it all, it has a lot to do with self-worth, and that's a key word with the Libra energy in this new moon. So when you've got Chiron and Eris in the second house, it's showing a lot of conflict. It could be very internal conflict, internal chaos, internal discord and strife. Chiron can show a lot of our fears, our wounds, what we need to transform. So in order for your 8th house to develop further, especially if you're working towards something regarding shared resources, or if you're working on a relationship, healing a relationship, or you're wanting to go deeper in a relationship, you want to connect more, get more intimate, you want to really incorporate more of the spiritual side in your relationship. Remember, the 8th house is another extension of the 7th house. So it's more than just we're committed to each other. It's about we're committed all the way through and through, because we're going even more deeper. What's mine is yours kind of thing. You know, you merge in the 8th house. You come together in the 7th house and you make that decision to commit. But in the 8th house, you really merge. And it can be beyond more than just the physical. You can get deeper into the spiritual here. And it also has a lot to do with spiritual transformation. But in order for that to occur, in order to see a development here, the second house energy where Chiron and Eris is at, that is showing that there needs to be a balance and more harmony here, because right now it's with Eris and Chiron there, it's showing disharmony. It's showing chaos and conflict. And that's preventing, that's like a block. How you feel about yourself, your self-worth, worthiness, it's preventing you from going deeper and accomplishing what you want to accomplish regarding the 8th house. And then also we have Mars and Mercury in a conjunction in the sign of Scorpio, which will be impacting your 9th house. So that's about the mind, expanding your horizons, philosophies, wisdom, travel. There seems to be a lot of energy there, a lot of momentum, stamina, a lot of activity, but you got to be very careful with Mars and Mercury, because sometimes that can also be so intense and it can create a lot of chaos as well. So it's all about harnessing the energy so that it can work in a positive and work in your favor. We also have Pluto that is direct in the sign of Aquarius impacting this new moon, which is asking this new moon to go deeper. Go deeper regarding intimacy. Go deeper with your spiritual transformation. Go deeper with how much you believe in yourself, how worthy you feel. Work on any of those issues that are still there so that you can manifest what it is that you are wanting to manifest. So a lot of shadow work here. A lot of opportunity to really do some transformation, just like you would during the full moon. But when you do that, you open doors, you open gateways, you open possibilities and opportunities. So self-worth is a key word with this new moon in Libra. That's what this energy is asking you to really master. So Pisces, Pisces rising, take care, and I will speak with you soon.